If you have been dabbling with React for the last few years, you would have probably come across something called as portals. If you're just like me, you probably may have used it once or twice in your life, but you don't really know what value it offers. If that's you, then this is the right video for you, because I'm gonna talk about one specific use case where portals really shine, and then they are so essential to solve that specific problem. Let's look at this definition, what a portal is. Imagine you have a React tree. You have this app component, and it's got a header component, and it's got a content component, and it's got a footer component. On a normal day, the app would be mounted onto a DOM node, usually a div called root, and you would just show your app. But imagine you want your footer to be shown in some other part of your HTML documents. Portals enable you to move React components and place it in some other part of the DOM outside of your parent tree hierarchy, but at the same time keeping the connection of that component to its parent alive. Meaning the footer will re-render if the app re-renders. That's it. That's what portals are all about. You can simply create a portal by using a simple API called React Portals, and you can see that it accepts children. It can be a React component and the DOM node. So that means where the children needs to be mounted. You can see that I have a component called P, and that's inside the parent component called my components. For the component P, I have made a portal. I want P to remain as a child of my component, but I want P to appear in some other part of the DOM tree. I call this function called create portal. Inside I pass P, and when there's a state update, obviously my component gets re-rendered, but the P also gets re-rendered. Even though P is somewhere on the DOM, it's still part of React's virtual DOM tree hierarchy. Here you can see the basic use case for a portal. When you want to show a pop-up that spans this entire page, I click on the show model without portal. It appears pretty odd because this is not spanning the whole page, rather it's only spanning the component. When we move, I'm a pop-up to the body. It spans to the whole width of this page and it appears nice. The most important use case for portals is when you want to build a hybrid app where you have two different technologies in one place. Meaning, when you want to build or when you want to integrate a React app inside another app, let's say an Angular app or maybe like a Vue.js app, then portals are the best way for you to build that. Let me explain you how it works. We have a very specific problem to solve. We want to migrate our AngularJS app into React-based micro frontends that's being owned by different teams. Different teams can build things based on their own time and convenience, and then in the end, we integrate all that into one app. When this happens, we don't want to tear down the AngularJS app completely. Rather, we want to slowly migrate from AngularJS to React.js. So that's our goal. Side panel here you can see can be one micro frontend that's based on React. On the same lines, page one can be another micro frontend that's based on React. It's really simple when you want to mount a React.js app onto an AngularJS app. You only have to specify the DOM node on which you need to mount your React.js app. Here you can see you have the DOM node, and then you first make a root. On that root, you render your app. As simple as that. Let's go back to our architecture. In our case, what we would do is we would have multiple roots. On each root, we will render a React app. So we will have two roots, and the root one will have side panel and root 2 will have page 1. Now, is our job done? Not really. So there is just one interesting problem that we have to solve here. You can see that every root is treated like an app. That means if I want to communicate between page 1 and side panel here, it's not that simple. When you have more than one root, it gets super complicated to share the states between them. So that means side panel and page 1 can't be controlled easily by one parent because they are two different roots, React roots. So that is exactly where portals come in. If I go back to the portals documentation, and you can see that Compared to having multiple separate React roots, portals let you create the app and as a single React tree with shared state, even though its parts render to different parts of the DOM. This is exactly what we want. When we have multiple separate roots, it becomes super complicated to mount and unmount them. You would have to call the unmount methods outside of React. So that is why we're going to rebuild this architecture to ensure that both page one and side panel are part of one React root so that state can be shared between them. Let's rebuild this stuff with one root and two portals. My React root can mount and unmount components in the portals, or it can just unmount the portals altogether. Since they have one common parent, I can share the state between them. You can simply inject the store into your components, and then you can make your components selectively subscribe to the fields. You can also conditionally render portals. So here you can see I have a portal for the side panel. I have a portal for the page one. I would simply attach DOM nodes I want them to be part of. I would just get the store and then inject the store into the components, and the components can subscribe to all the fields that change in the store and then re-render based on it. This comes super handy when you want to integrate apps built on React.js that may not be in the same DOM hierarchy, but then still be controlled by the same parent. If you have this really specific problem where you want to build a hybrid app, trust me, they would save you a lot of time and they make your life so easy. Thanks for watching this video, and if you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe for more, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.